He makes this competition a war. Each member of the second place team gets $15,000, the third place team $10,000. Working with me this time around, a freshman at Pepperdine, but the venerable statesman from the University of Southern California, my colleague on Monday Night Football, the Giffer.
I thought this was supposed to be fun. Captain Conrad's going nuts over there. He's firing up his team. It's incredible. You know, I've hosted the men's superstars on ABC, and you almost have the same feeling here, Howard, and that is that while there's a lot of fun and there's a lot of happiness involved in it, they really are serious. These are really competitors. Now, the captains, along with Conrad, McLean, Stevenson, and Gabe Kaplan, they've had their teams out secretly working out. So while we're in for a lot of fun and a lot of kicks, we all want to win.
Right you are, Giff, and as you can see from the past 4 battles, the ABC stars have won twice. CBS and NBC each have won once. Now we're ready for the swimming competition. That's the scene set, that Olympic-sized swimming pool. Quickly, the rules. 5 to each team. 2 on each team must be females. Each participant swims 1 lap. That's 1 width of the pool, 25 yards. But the anchor person swims 2 widths or 50 yards. Winning team gets 100 points. Second place team 75. Third place team 50. The lane introductions. The team of stars of NBC shows right there. Kasky Swain. And in the number 2 spot, Pam Hensley. Gives a little bit of luster. Then Bill Devane. Brian Leary, who has the look of a competitor. And the anchor man is Joe Bottoms. And that's a look well enough described. Then the team of stars on ABC show. Leading off, Richard Hatch. Dick, a veteran of this competition. He had on it previously when he was in Streets of San Francisco. The number 2 spot for this team, Aaron Jensen. She can swim like she looks, Frank. She'll be a beauty. Debbie Boone is in the number 3 spot. And then Robin Williams swimming in the 4 spot. The anchor man for this team is Big Bob Europe. Now the team of stars from CBS shows. Leading off, that was Timmy Reed. Little Charlene Tilton, number 2. Barb Burton, number 3. Always for most, he'll be Pinta Kinta. And Valerie Bertinelli is number 4. And the number 5 man is David Letton. Well, that's the team of stars from CBS shows. We're ready for the first event, the swimming competition in the 7-event overall Battle of the Network Stars. They're on the starting blocks. Take over, Giff.
And, Coach, the humor's gone now. Kasky Swain, the lane nearest to you for NBC, leads off for his team. ABC has Richard Hatch there in the middle lane. CBS in the far lane. Tim Reed for CBS, and it's Kasky Swain. He opens up a half-length lead over Richard Hatch.
And he's about ready to touch off, and in goes Pam Hensley, and she begins to widen the margin over the ABC contestant. That's Maren Jensen. Panoramically on your screen, you could see that CBS is already dead. But Pam Hensley is pouring it on. She touches off. Bill Devane in. And again, you get a glimpse of a half-length lead. Look at Devane open it up, Frank, as he moves down to touch off for Brianne Leary.
And here's Devane with the touch, and this is Brianne. She'll go the final 25 yards for her team. She'll turn it over to Joe Bottoms. He will travel 50 yards, and we've seen him sink traveling 50 yards, Howard. But a commanding lead by NBC.
Brianne Leary stroking like one of those East German girls at Montreal. She touches off, and in goes Joe Bottoms. And you can see quickly there the size of the lead the NBC group has. And with Joe Bottoms and that powerful overhand stroke, it's become no contest, Frank.
And look at that competitive turn by Joe Bottoms. It is a no contest, and Joe Bottoms is not weakening at all. 50 yards, a long way if you haven't done a lot of practice.
They've got better than a length lead. Forget about CBS. They're hopeless. Bottoms touches in. The easy winner in what may be record time for this competition. We'll check that later. In the meantime, look at that. CBS hasn't even finished yet. But quickly, let's have a talk with Joe Bottoms.
We take it by.
I think it took it by almost a full length. That wide a margin. You've been...
Good swimmers. We got a good swimmers and a good team.
You've been swimming long?
Yeah, you know, Bob Conrad gets us out. He had us out every evening swimming.
Well, congratulations again.
Thanks.
Well, maybe that's what Gabe Kaplan should have done. Here's Frank with Gabe.
Well, Gabe, you got second place, but maybe the viscosity of the water on the planet Orc is a little different than here.
Un zasaru varasuri zulakauma unina mana. He said something about my mother. I didn't like exactly what he said.
Second place isn't bad. 25 yards long way, Marion?
It's longer than I thought it would be.
Your top events coming up, Gabe?
Yeah, oh yeah, our top events are coming right up. We're strong, and the events coming up.
What is the top event on Orc?
Yes, he said fooling around.
Robin Williams, the figure from Orc, the man who's starring in Mork Mindy. There's his background for you. This is a young man who has really startled everybody with his emergence into national prominence. He's gotten all kinds of publicity, some of which you see right there. Let's look at a scene from the show.
Well, here's to the nicest alien I've ever met.
And here's to the nicest alien I've ever met. And the softest.
Give it up.
Are you all right?
Certainly I'm all right.
An overnight star, so you have to wonder what his reaction is to his newfound fame.
It's a little scary. I mean, today it's scary, all the crowds, the people surround you asking for stuff, for autographs and pictures. That's scary, but I'm trying to stay the same. I live out past Zoom and I just go out there and hide. Just live that quiet life, run and body surf and live the same life and perform at the Comedy Store. That keeps me sane, I think.
When did you decide you wanted to be a performer?
About 3 years ago, 4 years ago, actually. I was going to Juilliard School of Acting. Hausman was the headmaster. And that's what I made the decision then. Then I left school after 3 years and started taking up stand-up comedy as a release. And then ever since then it's been picking up. I was trained to be a Shakespearean actor. In fact, sometimes I think 4 years at Juilliard, and look now.
Do you enjoy the show?
Oh, I love doing it. So far, I can't believe I get paid to do it. That they give me free rein to improvise, and they give me basically it's just a premise, and I say, okay, do what you want, and I do. I can't believe it.
He's an absolute nut, isn't he, Robin Williams? And right there, Patty Klaus getting ready for the second event, the kayak competition, one of the fun events in the Battle of the Network Stars. Trying to keep those kayaks under control is some task, believe me. In the meantime, a record, as we expected in the swimming competition, 1:25:08. For that team of stars on NBC shows. Thus, the standings at this point, 100 NBC, 75 ABC, CBS 50.
Coming up, kayak. Wash day.
All December.
Starting off in the kayak event for the ABC team will be that man, Richard Hatch, who led off for ABC in the swimming. Joe Bottoms, the great anchor man in the swimming for the NBC group, will now be leading off. And they finally got Dave Letterman out of the water, Frank. He'll be leading off for the CBS team. 4 participants to each team. One must be a woman. You've got to go from the beginning point up to and around that buoy and back. That's where the exchange occurs. As little Joyce DeWitt cheers her team on, and Charlene Tilton cheers her team on. Now we're about ready for the start, and once again, the Giffer.
Howard, you described that all so easily. We know from experience how truly difficult it is. All right, we're underway. Nearest to you is Richard Hatch of ABC. Joe Bottoms of NBC in the middle lane, and David Letterman with a lot of experience in this pool already for CBS in the far lane. And we'll head for that first challenge as Joe Bottoms has a slight edge over Richard Hatch. The buoy, here it is.
There it is, and right away, Bottoms has a little trouble. Hatch comes in around nicely, cleanly, Frank. And so he makes up the earlier lead that Bottoms had established. In fact, he's a little bit ahead, as you can see. But Bottoms has the better stroke. You want quick, short, chopping strokes, evenly delivered. And now the second key coming up, Frank, for the first series of exchanges. Letterman bringing up the rear. He's used to that. There's Hatch exchanging.
You'll go to Debbie Boone, and for NBC, it'll be Bill Shatner taking over. But here's Debbie Boone in a pretty smooth exchange.
She's good at this. She's had prior experience in this event, as you doubtless know. And right now, Shatner's developing a lead. Letterman finally got in, and Timmy Reed takes over. He doesn't like the water either, Frank.
Immediate trouble for Timmy Reed. Meanwhile, over at the buoy. And we have in the middle Bill Shatner. He is going to make the turn first. Debbie Boone is approaching the buoy. Shatner with a fine turn, Howard.
Excellent, excellent, and he's got good strokes. He's got his boat under control. Just a little bit of difficulty, but now under control, and he's building up a big lead over Debbie Boone. Her task, as a girl going against a man, has to be to hold together, and she's doing just that. Shatner's coming in with a big lead, but not insurmountable. There's the exchange as Brianne Leary gets in. Shatner will push her off in the water. You saw Debbie Boone getting in for her exchange right there, and Bob Urich getting in, Frank.
And meanwhile, Tim Reed is having his problems in the far lane. We'll pick him up in a moment. As we watch now as Brianne Leary has a slight lead over Bob Urich. Bob Urich nearest to you for ABC, and there's Timmy Reed.
Going out of the lane. Reed in hopeless position, but Brianne Leary now suddenly losing control of her kayak. You can see it. She's turned completely around. Bob Urich has taken over the lead. And there's Timmy Reed finally getting in, but not the way he wanted to. Into the water, and there's the exchange for the CBS group. That's Patty Klaus getting in there. I wonder if she'll be able to keep control of the boat.
Brianne still with her problems, and it's a commanding lead now by Bob Urich. Bob Urich has the lead, a big lead for ABC. Brianne Leary trying to negotiate that buoy. Patty Klaus well out of it as Tim Reed has difficulties, but here comes Bob Urich, and he'll hand it over to Dave Kaplan. And Howard, we know that he's good in the kayaks.
This is Kaplan's event. It really is. He's a practitioner of the talent here. Look at him. He's got that boat under control, and he's got the quick, short strokes we've talked about. As you look at the scene panoramically, you see that Gabe is in total command of himself there. The others were just trying to complete their third legs, and ABC's group has its fourth leg underway. Look at poor Brian. She's been turned around again, and despairingly, she's pulled in by Captain Bob Conrad. And the anchorman takes over for the NBC group, and that's Bill Devane. And look at CBS, still hopeless. Patty Klaus having all kinds of troubles. Gabe Kaplan easily stroking in. The ABC group will be a sure winner, a big winner in the kayak competition. And quite clearly the NB, look at that. The arms upflung in victory, Frank.
There was no question, and meanwhile, the race continues apace, and Dave Kaplan is congratulated by his teammate. Patty Klaus has turned it over to LeVar Burton. Bill Devane is closing for NBC.
So NBC is second, CBS third. Let's talk with the winners.
Well, Gabe, congratulations. It was your series of matchups, your tactics that produced the victory.
No, I think it was Debbie held her own against Bill Shatner, and then Bob came in and just took over, and I just coasted home. It was easy. They made it easy on me. But he had a great beginning. Great beginning.
Hatch did better than he did in the swimming as the first leg man. Debbie, Gabe made a key point. Congratulations. You did hold together against a tough
with a
opponent.
lopsided paddle.
Well, even with Debbie's lopsided paddle, she did better than some of the members of the team of stars on CBS shows. They had their problems. Problems. Frank's with NBC's Brianne Leary.
Brian, you'd have to call it the agony of defeat.
Want to replay? It's the pits.
Oh, now, don't take it quite so hard. Did you hand Bobby a notice here?
Oh, no, I just hate to lose. And I hate to blow. You feel like such a nitwit sitting out there, things churning all over.
No, you know, I saw your captain, though, Bob Conrad, show a little humanity. He came up to you and he said, "That's all right, Brian." I didn't think you were that way, Bob.
Well, this is really the toughest one. This is a sophisticated thing. Brian's an outstanding athlete, as you've probably been able to tell in the other events, and just was bad luck.
You're hurting inside now.
Oh, I hate to lose, Frank. You know that. And you're fired. You're off the team, whoever you are.
Brian Leary. She's got a big personality, this little girl. She was born in Providence, but Tucson became her hometown, and there you see some of her background and her interests. Of course, she plays Officer Cindy Kale in Chips. And what she is, above all else, is athletic. Above all else, except for acting, of course. She's a gymnast, and in fact, in the beginning, they told her that she couldn't become a gymnast. But let her tell her own story.
I've always thought, as long as you try and you want something bad enough, and you just keep plugging away, you'll get it. And that's what I've done all my life. And for instance, gymnastics. When I tried out for the gymnastics team in high school, the coach, who a lovely lady, but she said, you have no talent in gymnastics whatsoever, and I would rather you go out for tennis. And I said, please, let me try out. And she said, okay, and I did, and I blew it. And she said, look, you can just be in the class, but you can't use the equipment when the other girls need it and everything. Well, I became obsessed, and that year I beat some of the seniors in the events, and then the next year my optional routine on beam took first in state, so I was all thrilled. And then the coach was really, she had every right to say what she said, because, I mean, you took a look at me then, it was kind of depressing.
Well, it's hardly depressing now, Brian. She can do it all. You'll remember that she co-starred in a series called Petrocelli, and now she co-stars in Chips, along with Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox. In fact, here she is getting made up for a rehearsal with none other than young Mr. Wilcox. Let's look.
Come on, Punch. Tell us what you did to get Cottrell to give you a commendable incident report.
Look, if I did anything, it's news to me.
I'll tell you what he did. Our little hot dog here dashed off 278 sites this month.
Well, look, there has to be some mistake. I mean, I've been standing on a corner 8 hours a day and stopping every other car to rack up that little side record like that.
You have to be sensitive to understand a character you're portraying in order to portray it wholly. You have to be sensitive as a person just to understand people, so you're not stepping on people, you're not mean to people, and you can understand their sensitivities.
That sensitivity, that understanding is what makes Brian Leary a fine young actress. In the meantime, change of scene set, the baseball dunk. Dick Hatt signing autographs for some young ones, and Bill Devane just warming up, getting ready for another fun Crystal. NBC, of course, breasting the tape a winner. But right there, from our angle, it looked like LeVar Burton had just nipped Billy Crystal at the wire. Frank's with LeVar now.
LeVar, that was a heck of a race. He almost made up an incredible
a lot of
lost time, but the time was really lost in the pass between Lou and Valerie. Lou, what happened?
Well, see what happened. I handed the python to Valerie. It's just she dropped and I bumped into someone, but fortunately I was able to recover it and hand it back to her. Of course, we lost time with that. If she didn't drop, we would have won the whole thing.
Yeah, well, it looked that way too. LeVar, you've done a little sprinting in the past, haven't you?
Mostly here in these competitions, but it did seem like we were an awful lot behind. I think I made up some pretty good time on Billy Crystal. We're just waiting for the official ruling on what the places were.
We're waiting for the official ruling too, LeVar. In the meantime, let's take a look at that errant pass in slow motion. Lou Ferrigno, perhaps brushing Bill Devane, but passing cleanly to Valerie Bertinelli, and she drops it. She drops it. Now, CBS had protested formally to Commissioner Sparky Anderson, claiming NBC interference. But from our view of that pass, Commissioner Anderson quite properly overruled the protest. So, NBC finished first, and now the official finish. CBS did finish second. Burton caught and passed Billy Crystal at the wire. ABC finished third. And for the up-to-the-minute score in the Battle of the Network Stars, NBC the leader by 100 over CBS, 125 over ABC. No, it's not the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, but it's just as good. That's the gridiron, all 20 yards of it, where ABC's team and NBC's will hook up in the finals of the football competition. Those two established as finalists after preliminary competition. And the gridiron is 20 yards long. You score a touchdown, you get 5 points. Complete complete a pass between the 5-yard line and the goal line, you get 2 points. Sack the quarterback. The defending team can do that. They get 1 point. The team of stars on NBC shows headed up by that man, Robert Conrad. You see some of his background. His basic hobby